the Sci-Fi Invasion. I'm your host, Joey Hollywood, and I'm trying to get through all 50 movies in this 50 movie box set from Mill Creek in 50 weeks. The movie I watched today was called Future Women from 1969. Now, this movie's actually called The Girl from Rio, and I had to do some Googling on this one because I was completely and utterly confused by this one. I didn't understand what was happening for like the first 30-40 minutes. This movie is a sequel to another film that I did not bother writing down. But apparently it's a Jess Franco movie. I didn't see his name in the credits, but you know, that doesn't mean anything. Those people used a lot of pseudonyms when making a lot of films. This is not the kind of movie that comes to mind when I think of Jess Franco. You know, I'm not the biggest Spanish film buff. I've always very openly, I love Italian exploitation. Spanish is something that it's something I have a cursory knowledge of, but it's not the kind of movie I think of when I think of him. It wasn't nearly as sexy enough for that. Yeah, so the movie opens up and I was already confused because the title of the movie says Future Women. So I'm expecting that this is going to be like, oh, it's in the future. It's not. And I probably would understand this a lot more if I saw the movie that this is a sequel to. I'm not going to do that because I didn't find this movie that interesting enough. It opens up with all these women and are like, oh, men versus women. Women will dominate. I have an army of women and we will take over the world, and starting with their financial assets, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what's happening? Then it cuts to Rio, and there's it seems like a spy movie, like a James Bond knockoff of the time, like Operation 007, like that kind of movie. I was not surprised when I Googled this movie that I found out it was originally on Mystery Science Theater. Season 0, though. Yeah, it's a baffling movie because I didn't know what was going on. And then the credits start, and it's a very James Bond intro. It's the theme song is The Girl from Rio. It's a lot of sexy shots of women and very stylized. And it's like, oh, is this a spy movie? Like, what's happening? And as the spy movie's happening, it keeps cutting to the future women, and I didn't understand what the connective tissue was, and that's when I Googled it. And shortly after I Googled it, it became a little bit more obvious in the movie. But
you okay, Quentin? You okay, buddy? You're making me lose my train of thought.
it was just odd. I didn't understand what was going on, and there are no future women in this movie. It's just an island of women that are they're trying to control the world's assets and money, and they're trying to dominate the world and only use men for reproductive purposes. The spy angle enters into the movie at some point because the main good guy, he goes to the future women's island and he's trying to rescue his girlfriend, and they have all these leaders trapped in these big fish tanks with a little thin layer of smoke on the bottom that makes them weak. It's odd. There's some sort of mafioso that's somehow connected to all of this, and the future women want his money, and it's a lot of espionage, and it feels like two different movies just smushed together, and what connects them is so paper thin that I don't think it works. It wasn't a very enjoyable movie to watch. I think it would be better with a Mystery Science Theater or Riff Tracks commentary. I was disappointed to see that it was riffed on season 0 of Mystery Science Theater, which I'm not sure if any of you've seen that version, that incarnation of that show. But I remember there's one episode where the characters say nothing for 40 minutes. So, because it was still figuring itself out. I would say this is a definite skip it. Maybe it's more fun with friends. Maybe it's more fun with alcohol or something like that, but just on its own, it's not an entertaining watch, at least not for me. Although I have a much different perspective because I've watched a bunch of these movies already, so maybe my perspective's a little skewed. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Remember, please be kind and rewind. Bye.